I'm in Thornton, student ID 229-10752, and this is skill number 5, aseptic preparation for surgery. So first of all, I'm going to get my mask on and make any adjustments that I need. My hair is already up, but then I'm also going to put this scrub hat on, making sure to tuck any loose hairs away from my face and underneath the cap. Then I'm going to aseptically open up my gown and hand towel that's in here, and then my gloves, being sure to only touch the outer parts of my gown, even though there's a wrap inside as well. Okay, and then I am going to open these and drop those. So that's all aseptic. Then I am gonna get the water going and start my scrub. And I'm gonna start with my fingertips and my fingernails, and then move on from there. So first I'm just going to remove some debris from underneath my fingernails using the nail pick. And I'm going to do that for each nail. Even though my fingernails are pretty short, I want to make sure there's nothing there. All right, so I'm all done with my nail clipper. Now I'm going to get this nice and fuzzy. I'm going to start my scrub. For my scrub, I'm going to start on the lateral side of my index finger, and I'm going to do 10 rotations at least. And I'm going to do each lateral part of my finger on that side. And then I'm going to do the other side. The same thing. And make sure that I get my fingertips nice and good. And then do the palm part of my hand. And now the top. All right, and then not rinsing, I'm just getting this a little bit wet. I'm going to then scrub up and down around my hand from wrist to elbow. And then without rinsing, I'm going to wet this again. I'm going to go on to the other hand. So I'm going to do my fingertips. And then I'm going to start on my index finger, and I'm going to do the lateral side. Making sure that I do each side of the fingers and the palm no less than 10 times. And the next lateral side of my hand. And I'm going to do my palm. And then once I've done my whole hand, we do elbow to wrist. Wrist elbow, I should say. And once I'm truly scrubbed, and I've scrubbed every part of myself at least 10 times, I then rinse, and you rinse from fingertips to elbow. So I start with this, and I rinse upwards like that, and don't go back across yourself. So again, your fingertips to my elbow. And I'll have somebody come behind me and turn that off. So this just dries, just kind of getting most of the moisture off. And then I'm going to move all of this and find my hand towel. I'm going to go upwards so that nothing drags. And again, I'm going to go fingertips to elbow. And moving to a different part of the towel every time. The other side, fingertips to elbow, not rubbing up and down. So dry that way. This is completely sterile. I'm going to use this because I don't have an extra set of hands for somebody to turn these off, to turn that off. So this is completely sterile. I didn't touch anything. That's down. Okay. Next, I'm going to put the gown on. So grab the little strings and grabbing the inside. Kind of a larger gown than I am. So I'm going to grab the collar. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. And I'm going to open, touching the inside that I'm going to be touching and nothing else. I'm going to shake this open so I can get my armholes. And then using sterile parts to sterile parts, I do this. If I had an assistant, they would come behind me and close me up, but I currently don't. So I'm going to get my hands as close to the edges of the gown as possible without having my fingers come out of the gown. I'm then going to pick up my sterile gloves and working very carefully. Open up my gloves. The best I can. Making sure that my arms never go below my waistline as well. Okay. So now I do sterile to sterile. So I'm going to get in the inside part of the left. And open. And I'm touching the inside part of the glove with my fingers because that's not going to be sterile. To manipulate the cuff in here. Okay. Then I can grab the sterile part of the cuff and pull that over the top of the gown and work my fingers down the gown, pulling this up, just so I can get my fingers kind of where they're supposed to be, like that. Okay, once I have one hand in, this is a sterile hand. This hand goes on the inside of the cuff of the sterile glove. And this one comes along and does the same thing. And now I can use this hand a lot better because it's a sterile glove. Work my hand out of the cuff and into the glove, and then pulling the gloves up onto the cuffs of the gown. So at this point I am sterile. I make sure that whenever I'm going into surgery, my hands are clasped like this so that I don't accidentally touch anything unsterile, and make sure that my hands stay above my waist at all times to make sure that I do not break sterility, because anything from basically my waist down is not considered sterile, even though it's part of the sterile gown. And that's how you do a closed glove technique after you scrub.